today is not the usual issue. Yes, as you have already understood from the description, we're going to talk about animal drinkers. Here we go. When it comes to mind-altering agents such as alcohol or drugs, in the vast majority of cases humans are meant. But biologists know that animals also have their own fans of highs, and in their desire to experience it, they will stop at nothing. Below you can find a list of the most desperate pleasure seekers. Gorillas have more than enough reasons to be depressed. There is deforestation, poachers, and intericcular competition. In the face of such incessant stress, what is there to do but get drunk? The sap of a certain kind of bamboo has an alcohol that gorillas like. The sap of a certain kind of bamboo has alcohol that gorillas love. This is exactly what gorillas living in the mountainous regions of Rwanda do. They were able to discover one of the local varieties of bamboo that has alcohol in its sap. This source of fun is well known to the locals, and they even call it bamboo wine. What the gorillas call it is unknown. The fact that they drink this alcoholic beverage with great pleasure has long been known. US photographer Andy Rouse happened to stumble upon the gorillas having such a drink right in the jungle. Happened during his trip to Rwanda. First, the photographer thought the gorillas had some health problems. After a closer look, he quickly realized that the gorillas had become extremely sick. He used the opportunity to snap dozens of pictures that were posted on social networks. These were the first pictures of the gorillas drunk. Australian dogs enjoy licking toads. Australia is home to the largest number of venomous snakes. You can find them there almost under every rock. But the most amazing thing is that at the top of the food pyramid is not even such a glorified exterminator of all living things as man. That king is the creepy-looking reed toad. This Australian amphibian is indeed extremely poisonous and can kill anyone who dares to eat it. The funny thing is that it enjoys such immunity on the mainland, although some argue that Australia is an island after all, where everyone hunts everyone. But Australian dogs proved to be no slouch, and began to use reed toads in the same way that humans use small doses of life-threatening substances for pleasure. The frogs contain very little of this poisonous substance, but enough to give the dogs enough pleasure by licking the toads over and over again. Scientists have discovered that these toads release a poison through their skin that has hallucinogenic properties. Scientists have discovered that these toads secrete through their skin a poison that has hallucinogenic properties. Under the influence of this substance, dogs begin to perform such ridiculous actions as hopping around, staring at the sky, or running around in circles for half an hour. Truth is, this pursuit of buzz can come back to haunt dogs in the same way that it does for humans with health problems. I must say that the Australian authorities took this into account. In this country, even opened rehabilitation centers for dogs licked by reed toads. Groundhogs are hooked on antifreeze. With the shortage of alcohol, some bipeds have mastered the art of drinking various technical fluids like brake fluid. Usually such representatives of mankind are referred to as pigs, whereas their closest colleagues in the animal world are not pigs, but marmots. In the United States, there are even special programs for such marmots, which cost the taxpayers of this state several tens of thousands of dollars annually. Car antifreeze is poison for many animal species, but not for the marmots that inhabit California's national parks. Not only are these rodents not afraid of the poison, but they love it with great affection. Groundhogs even gather in groups of 10 to 15 animals to attack parked cars. Wanting to get to the antifreeze, marmots chew through various parts of the car, such as the brake hoses. Such incidents occur every week, and even more often. It even happened that marmots, wishing to get hold of antifreeze, made unscheduled trips under the hood of the car. Groundhogs are very cunning, and can chew through car parts to get to the antifreeze that animals love to drink. Groundhogs are very cunning, and can chew through car parts to get to the antifreeze that animals like to drink so much. As ridiculous as it sounds, for visitors to parks like Sequoia National Park and Yosemite National Park, marmot attacks cause quite a bit of trouble. To reduce the possible consequences, even wrap their vehicles with wire mesh or at least a thick waterproof tarp. As a result, cars turn into funny-looking constructions, all for the sake of protecting the cars from long-toothed junkies. True, some sensible visitors simply put bowls filled with antifreeze next to the cars, so that the animals can get drunk and not attack the car. You could say that this is a kind of tribute that motorists pay to wildlife dwellers. Dolphins devour toxic fugu fish. Fugu fish is considered a classic Japanese delicacy. True, it is very dangerous, but it is also unusually expensive. The body of fugu fish contains a lot of tetrodotoxin, which is among the most dangerous poisons on the planet, which is 10 times more toxic than the famous curare. The venom of the fugu fish is absolutely harmless to dolphins. Poison of the fugu fish is absolutely harmless to dolphins. The tetrodotoxin contained in just one palm-sized fish is enough to send 3 dozen gourmets to their deaths. The mechanism of action of this poison is such that it causes paralysis of all muscles and leads to respiratory failure. It is for this reason that only chefs of the highest qualification have the right to cook this fish. However, in spite of this delicacy still kills several people every year. In addition to people to this fish and indifferent to the dolphins, For them the poison does not represent any threat. People have seen more than once how they nod this fish in the hope, so to speak, cheer themselves up. Most interesting thing is that dolphins do not eat fish completely. Simply take it in their mouths and suck it. If a drug addict sucks on a piece of sugar drenched in LSD, it continues until the mammal feels pleasure. The fish of happiness is passed to another addicted dolphin, so on until all the members of the pack feel bliss. After that, the fish is released into the wild. Drunken squirrels. These animals are also among those who have a soft spot for alcohol, and they have even mastered a primitive form of winemaking. To obtain alcohol, they seek out fruit that rots in the sun and drink its juice. Luckily for them, the smallest amount of fermented juice is enough to make them thoroughly stoned, which has already been filmed on camera more than once. In the United States, squirrels even have their own favorite holiday on which they get especially drunk. It's Halloween. The thing is, when it's over, people throw a lot of pumpkins in the trash, which can sit on the ground for quite a while and ferment. As a result, in warm weather, mid-November becomes the season of drunken squirrels. For example, in mid-July 2015, several people who worked at a British pub came to work in the morning and found a lot of beer spilled on the floor of the establishment. First they thought the place had been raided by robbers, later they saw the culprit was a drunken squirrel who could barely stand. The animal managed to open the tap of the beer tank and get as drunk as other squirrels could never dream of. Russian bears can't have enough alcohol. They want jet fuel. When the Soviet Union ceased to exist, no one thought about the environment. As a result, in Kamchatka, some shrewd businessman turned the Kranatsky Reserve into a storage facility where they collected jet fuel. But after a while, Russian scientists saw that the brown bears living there had learned how to open the barrels and enjoy it. In Kamchatka, brown bears indulge in jet fuel. Brown bears in Kamchatka practice dabbling with jet fuel. In doing so they acted as normal toxicomaniacs by inhaling fumes of the radioactive substance. The end of such a session was approximately the same state in which some of our fellow citizens stay after receiving a paycheck, only the bear replaces the fence or the backyard with a ditch in which they lie, while their consciousness travels to other worlds. Bears, like humans, become very dependent on fuel. There are known cases when they even attacked airplanes and helicopters that landed on the territory of the reserve, and all in order to get some dope. One photographer even spent 7 months of his life making pictures of drunk bears. He claimed that the bears did not confine themselves to just sniffing out the tanks and were zealously sniffing the ground beneath the helicopters, sniffing fuel dripping from them. But after a while the reserve was cleared of the barrels and the bear shop was shut down. How the bears reacted to such destruction of the dealer's center remains unknown, so not only people can become addicted to intoxicants. Alas, the consequences of such addiction are the same for both humans and animals.